What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another video. So today, I'm saying, we got a person that you guys have you've seen a couple times on my channel, obviously. Why don't you introduce yourself, actually?
Hey everyone, it's Mikey, aka Mikey UB, and yeah, we're back with another, I guess, Naruto ranking video, but this time with villains.
Yeah, so I mean, we've already ranked like the arcs and stuff, so I think it was kind of appropriate that we kind of go on like the villains. So today, obviously, like Yubi said, we're gonna be ranking the Naruto villains. There are some people on this list that we're gonna probably touch upon. Oh, actually, looking at the list, it actually looks really good. Real quick, like, what arc do you think has some of the best like villains? Just like the best collection of villains.
Man, I mean, like, the war arc isn't exactly like one big arc. We kind of all just categorize it into like one arc, calling it, you know, the war arc. So easily that I'd probably say that, but it's hard because, like, obviously we look at kind of like the Land of Waves and stuff. Like Zabuza, I'd say like it's an S tier villain in that arc alone. But then it's like when we compare him against the rest of like the Akatsuki members coming in, it gets like a bit tricky. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to pinpoint one particular arc, but I'd say like if I'm gonna like categorize the war arc as one big arc, then like I'd probably say that because it has like Madara and Obito and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny with Obito because Obito, we'll touch upon he's here. We'll touch on him a little bit later, but with Obito, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've heard. I mean, you know, you definitely heard the Obito. He did it for Rin, you know, like that whole thing. But then you hear people talk about Obito, and I'm like, yeah. So for me, I've heard debates of him being like the best Naruto villain, like even above Pain, who, I mean, we'll touch on him later, but I think it's like one of the best. But and then I hear debates about Obito's kind of like mid or he's trash. And it's like, damn, it's like Obito's very I'm like I jump around with Obito, I guess, in terms of like how I view him as a villain. But yeah, I do think the war arc, if you count the entire, I mean, it's like everyone's in that damn arc, honestly. Like even if you look at the characters on this list, like a good amount of them are in the war arc, so it's like, yeah. But I am I think what makes that question interesting, I kind of brought up because I mean we're talking about villains and stuff, but I think what makes that like question interesting was like a lot of the Akatsuki, they're villains with their own arcs, so you can't. I feel like a lot of the Akatsuki are tough, but they're split up. So, but then we can go in the order of the show. I think that might be like better.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess Mizuki we'd start with. So right next to Obito, because he was like an episode.
I saw like
one.
Okay. Yeah, this bro Mizuki. So I mean, Mizuki, he's a guy for sure. Like definitely, he exists. I think like he's a perfect. Like I mean, we can talk about Mizuki. So he told Naruto to steal the scroll. Naruto. I mean, it's funny because like Naruto could have stolen any jutsu. Like there was so many forbidden jutsu, but he kind of stole like. Honestly speaking, I mean, it's not like a bad jutsu, but he like, imagine if he stole like, I don't know, reanimation jutsu or something. It was something really crazy. Like he could have stolen anything. Like he really could have stolen anything. So it's just funny that he ended up with like multi-shackle and jutsu. But he did that. He badmouthed Naruto and then like stabbed Iruka kind of thing, and then he got his ass beat by like a kid Naruto. So like.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. Like it was probably a rough day for him getting beat up like that by like a guy who wasn't even a genin and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear he's in like D tier anyway.
Yeah, he's perfect for his D tier. We ever see bro again? Because I feel like we actually do not.
He's in a filler where he like turns into a tiger, and it's really weird. I remember watching it as a kid. I was very creeped out by it.
I do actually remember that like that. It's a good. You just unlocked a memory. Like, why is he a tiger? I really do not know. That's terrible. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I said like let's start from the beginning, Mitsuki was not.
You thought it was like Zabuza and Haku or something.
Yeah, I was just about to be like, let's go Haku first. No, that's funny. But yeah, first D tier. All right, so next up we have, just off of memory, I think the next important villain is like, what is it called? Haku. Haku's like Haku. I mean, obviously everyone remembers like with the Haku and Naruto and how Naruto thought Haku was a girl. I mean, that's always like, really funny Naruto moment, right? I think that's kind of cool.
And what was it? He was like, he's prettier than Sakura or something like that. He
Yeah,
says that.
I was like, I don't know. So that's a crazy statement, man. Naruto came a long way. Look, I think Haku. Well, like one thing I like about Haku and Zabuza, they don't really. I mean, they get credit for it, but usually I feel like you don't really hear about them too much. But they kind of put Naruto on his whole ninja way. Like they're the ones who kind of. I mean, Kakashi kind of taught him his ninja way in that sense, but I'd say this arc is what solidified Naruto as being a ninja. That makes sense.
No, yeah. It definitely threw him into like the deep end, and when they're in the crystal ice mirrors and Sasuke quote unquote dies, Haku is like, is this the first time you've seen a friend die in combat and stuff like that. It's a very kind of big realization for like the big worlds Naruto is stepping into and stuff. Especially when it comes to being used as tools, which we'll see with Zabuza as well.
Haku, I'm thinking like B or an A, but like I'm really not certain on either where I want to put him, like in terms of everything.
It's hard because I'm trying to think of the villains later on as well.
Yeah, you don't want to throw everyone an S type thing.
Yeah. We can put him in A, like it'll probably be like low A, but like
yeah,
A I think might sound comfy for him, unless if you think B.
That's the thing. I think A and B, I can go either way with them.
Yeah.
Like I think we just gotta see where the other people fall in line.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we can put him in A for now.
Yeah.
'Cause I actually do like Haku. I mean, we don't see him a lot. I feel like there was some pretty good early parallels between Haku and like Naruto. Well, maybe I'm like not tweaking. Where it's like Haku's this ninja weapon, and basically Haku's kind of like a prototypical ninja in how I think it's like, what does it take to be a ninja? It's like at the end of the arc when he's talking to Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, yeah, what does it take to be a ninja? Like all that, we see how Haku's life, he was always used as a weapon, and that's what essentially ninja are. And it's like, damn, this is the system that Naruto is eventually gonna want to break. So that's like that. I mean, Haku kind of tough. I'll give Haku an A, honestly.
Yeah.
That leads us to Zabuza. So I mean, do you think Zabuza's a better character than Haku? I guess that's like the question. That would be interesting for the ranking.
I feel like his moments hit me more, like if like don't say another word or your words cut deep, the kind of thing, when he's like crying over Haku and stuff like that. And then when he does his final kind of last stand against Gato, when he grabs the kunai in his mouth and starts cutting up everyone, like that's hard. And then at the end, when he's speaking to Gato, it's like, we're not welcome where Haku's gone to, hell's where we're going and stuff like that. He has some cool ass lines. And like
that's true.
Him and Kakashi's fight is also like really damn good too.
Yeah, even like as I get to that point, like even as a kid, like when Kakashi and Zabuza they're doing the hand signs at the same time. Like I feel like that one time we never see hand signs like that again, obviously. But for that time, it was really really cool.
Yeah.
To your point. Yeah, I think like Haku was cool, but coolest moments like I think from Haku, like for instance, was when Sasuke gets his. I mean, these are moments like that involve Haku. Like when Sasuke gets his strong, and that was really cool. When Naruto's like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill you," I'm like, "Whoa, like this is teeing up." But like to your point, Zabuza's like Zabuza's actual the moments of Rome Zabuza were mostly about Zabuza, like you said, it cuts deep, like your words cut deep. When he takes the kunai and just like slash through all the people, it's like very ignorant. Like to this day, I don't know why no one like helped him. I guess he didn't want. I don't think he wanted to help. Right?
I mean, I feel like it was kind of like his own thing he needed to do to kind of rebel against the system for one last time. So yeah.
So like Kakashi was definitely just like well and able over there. Like you could have like I don't know Earth style like one wall or something. But I guess that's fine. I'm putting Zabuza above Haku.
No, yeah.
After that, then we get to like the sound people, which are a lot of them are very huff, but we can go through them. Let me find their names because I don't really. Let's talk about Dozu first because Dozu is someone I actually do remember.
Okay.
Dozu's the bro. I don't know if you Dozu. I know because I literally searched it up right beforehand because I was like, who is this? Dozu's the bro. Well, I'm trying to describe him. He has like the cool fur jacket and like sidecar. So I know that they ambushed like Team Naruto, Team 7, not Team Naruto. Team 7. Did he fight? He fought Rock Lee.
Yeah, he fought against Rock Lee for a bit.
Yeah. Okay, and Rock Lee tried to do Primary Lotus, or yeah, and he kind of didn't he like he's the one who did the sound, so he like made the dirt, he made like the ground softer or something.
Yeah, I think it was one of his teammates that might have done that to make the ground softer. I think I'm not too sure on it. I just remember this guy trying to fight Gaara, and then he just dies. And like,
oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. For the longest time, I did not remember that happened. I was like, what happened to bro? It was like he's just dead. Like that's kind of unfortunate for bro. Oh, so we just go in D tier then? Like
yeah.
Like there's just nothing speakable about bro.
No, yeah, he's D tier.
And we have this guy. I think he's the sound guy. I think.
Yeah.
He's the guy who Sasuke like. He was basically fighting obviously in like the Forest of Death or whatever, and at the end Sasuke wakes up and he's like, which like, I think did he say something like who hurt Sakura or something like that?
Yeah, it was like Sakura
he, like,
who did this to you. Yeah.
Yeah, he broke his. I'm like, what the hell? Like he was actually tweaking. I'm not gonna lie. It was funny. Yeah, so he got his arms broken. He's not. Should I find his name? I'm trying to find it, but like.
If you would, but they're kind of both irrelevant, him and the girl as well. They're kind of both D tier anyway. Like the girl just bangs her head against the wall in Shikamaru's match. And
yeah. So Zaku is the name of him. So we got Bro Zaku. So that's a D tier. And then what was his name? Her name is Kin. These are really, really relevant people. Like so if you ever play like the Naruto games on like PS2, remember I used to always play that, and like Shikamaru is like one of his like ultimate jutsus or whatever is like it's basically that thing where you're in the shadow position and he like throws a kunai and he dodges. You guys both basically dodge and she hits her head. You're like, so that's the only thing I remember about like her whole existence. It's another D tier. I don't even know who this person is beside Gaara though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was kind of like, he can go D tier as well anyway. He kind of just delayed time for them all in the Forest of Death and stuff, and they had like multiple clones of themselves, and it was kind of like, yeah, it was D tier anyway.
Just certainly worthless. Okay, that's good. Alright, so after that, I think then we can go Gaara, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Gaara's villain is a very, very top tier. I'm gonna be very honest with you, because this is like, I feel like this is really, really when we get the parallels of like Naruto and the main villains. Like, Ishimoto, Loki, maybe. I don't know. Some people might make the argument that he spammed that a lot, like the dynamic, but I think the Gaara Naruto dynamic was one of the best ones, even like to the end of the series. Like we know they're both. We don't know the time. Well, I guess we do learn the time a little bit later, but they're both Jinchuriki, both hated by their village, both children of Hokage. Like. It's just that we see this is like a route that Naruto could have taken had he not met Iruka, and obviously, what was bro's name who made the Ichiraku?
I got no clue, but we know who he is.
Yeah, Ichiraku, bro, like that. He really held Naruto down. Like if he wasn't there, Naruto might be Gaara type thing. And also Gaara was actually bro was actually very, very scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like to the point when he kills Dozu, it's like, yo, like this is real. Or I think at the time his first introduction was kind of weird. He's like hanging upside down. I think he's like, oh yeah. Looks at Sasuke. He's like, yeah, this guy has a lot of hatred. It's like, whoa. Like at this time, Sasuke's still a good guy. Like we still rocking with Sasuke for like honestly. So seeing Gaara like, yeah, this guy's like me, and like, whoa, let's relax.
No, yeah.
Obviously, everyone knows about Gaara versus Rock Lee, which we talked about. We didn't rank the fights, but we did talk about that on one of the ranking arcs in Naruto. I do think that fight's a little overrated. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think like people love that fight and I love it too, but I think that I don't want to get too much hate anyway. But I think that fight's a little overrated. But that fight is still like hype personified. So
no, yeah, especially
Gaara, like,
especially with like at the end as well, with like when Guy comes in to protect Lee and Gaara's kind of like confused a bit, like, you know, why are you protecting him? And Guy's like, you know, he's my precious student. And like it's really good. I like Gaara's backstory the most as well, because like when I watched this as a kid, that was the first time I ever like cried in the show of like Gaara's backstory. When I was a kid, I was like, damn, like it's so sad, like his uncle wanted to kill him and stuff like that, and Gaara was like, you know, oh, you had a choice, right? You didn't need to kill me, my father made you. And his uncle's like, nah, I had the choice. I've hated you since the day you were born. I was like, oh God.
That was so sad. He's like, no, if I like that was a top tier one. I think that actually had me emotionally too. Yeah, if I didn't want to, I didn't have to, but I always hated you. I'm like, bro, you did not have to see it. You really did not. You gained nothing in that. So with that being said, 8 tier for Gaara, or are we going S?
I think S too. honestly.
Okay.
I
I'm
really
not
think
mad at
S
that.
tier, yeah.
That leads us to the. I think so. We look at like the sound four, where the sound four. So I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these the sound. Well, I guess it's the sound five because we're gonna throw in Kimimaro. Obviously, shout out him. You can pick which one you want to start with. Let me get their names.
I guess we can start with Sakon. I think he's called. So the guy at the start with the two heads.
Okay. With me, the sound four, I know who they fought to a degree. I don't remember. I've never gone back and watched any of the sound four fights, with the exception of like Kimaru's not part of the sound four. So I really never watched any of the sound four fights again. I only watched the scene when the Sand Ninja pulled up and kind of saved them, saved three of them, which Sakon is one of the people that gets interfered with that battle. Yeah, what do you think on him overall?
Yeah, well, I think the sound fights are like really underrated. I think some of them are a bit too simple. Like I still think Choji's is quite a simple fight. It's just cool because he gets the butterfly mode and stuff like that.
Sure, for sure.
But I think Sakon and especially Kidomaru's fight with Neji later on are like some of the best in them. Because this is kind of like the first, like, I guess, S-tier mission that a lot of like the rookies are going on. And it feels like very intense, and like, Sakon is kind of hunting down Kiba throughout all of that fight to the end till Kankuro comes. But then again, Sakon also let himself get like pissed on by Kiba's dog as well to like mark him.
See, that's what I was like, I don't remember that. Yeah, that's actually crazy. One thing I do remember about this fight, I think it's a scene when Kiba's hiding from him, and then because Sakon's like a twin, right? It's like they're twin brothers. They're kind of like Siamese twins, like connected on the. Yeah. But Sakon is on Kiba's body, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's Genjutsu because there's someone else's Genjutsu in this group. So I'm like, what the hell? Like you said, it's kind of like a hunt, right? So Kiba's hiding. He's like, okay, I'm good. And then the bro is on your body. That was tweak. That was kind of cool. What I remember. I don't really remember how he was able to do that though. But
I don't know. See, he's not like a top tier villain, but he kind of does his role for that fight and stuff. But I guess so. B, yeah.
You don't seem certain. Do you want to go low or high?
I don't know, because I'm thinking like, I'll let you call the shots on it, either B or C.
I'm going C because like those were cool moments, but again, I've never really been like, oh, Sakon. I feel like you can forget the character of Sakon and won't change it. Like, anything.
True, yeah.
So
put him in.
But shout out Sakon for dying. Not for dying. Like he's that sounds terrible. But he's one of the three Sound Ninja that were pulled up on by like Gaara siblings.
Oh
like,
yeah.
They don't have a last name, so that's. But yeah, which I mean that's like one of my favorite. That's like one of my favorite part one scenes. Where he's like, "Say who are you?" He's like, "We're allies of belief." You know, I mean, that was funny. Like we can put it on screen or something. But yeah, but that was a really really cool scene. It's like, yo, because everyone but Gaara one shots their opponent. It's like, damn, like. I'm not gonna lie, kind of like Kiba was put onto that work, and then Kankuro pulls up and he's like, "Yeah, this is easy." And he like, I'm not gonna lie, the way Kankuro kills his opponent is like
that's gruesome. Yeah, he's just like screaming and it's like blood coming out. Yeah. It's like, damn. Jesus.
It's like, damn. But like that, it was hard. That was so tough. So like, I'm gonna see though, because he doesn't do enough for me.
Yeah. I guess we can do Jugo. So the big guy.
Fat bro.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a fight that. He might be worse than Sakon in that sense, but
yeah, he kind of just spends the fight kind of teasing everyone, like he teases Shikamaru and stuff like that, and that annoys Choji, and then they're kind of both just calling each other like fat and useless for the entire fight, basically. Yeah. But yeah, it's more so like Choji's moment than this guy. Like I don't really know anything memorable from him, so he's an easy like C or even D tier villain. Yeah, honestly,
because like I think I watched recently the beginning of this arc, so I kind of saw one thing I liked about the Sasuke retrieval arc. I think we might have ranked it like the highest when we ranked it. You can go back and look, but they start out as like I think it's like a 5 or 6 man group, and each time they get through an opponent, one person basically like holds the opponent down so everyone else can escape. I think at first they're stuck in like this earth pillar thing, or they're stuck in like this rock, they're losing their chakra or something like that. That's like a really really cool thing that like I feel like that doesn't get touched upon often, but that's the only memorable part. That and then Choji's transformation. Like besides that, no one remembers anything involved in this battle. So we can throw him in C tier. I think I don't have much to say about bro.
Alright, yeah.
Honestly, the Tayuya fight, I hope I'm not misremembering, but the Tayuya fight with Shikamaru was actually kind of hard, low-key. Because, I mean, we know Shikamaru, one thing we all like about Shikamaru, I think, is that a lot of his fights are very, very strategic. Like, when you look at, he doesn't get a lot of fights in the series, but when you look at his fights, they usually involve, like, a strategic element. And this, like, there was a part where, like, she has Genjutsu, so, like, Shikamaru uses shadows as a jutsu he uses shadows to, like, break his finger. You know, Genjutsu pain. That was tough. I'm not gonna lie, that's all I kind of remember from that. And then obviously, like, again, Tamari pulls up and she's like, "We're allies of the leaf." That's tough. Like, and then she one shots him. You know, shout out the Tamari Shikamaru, like the best Naruto ship and like the best ship in Naruto easily. And that's really it. Like, do you have anything else to say about? I mean, yeah, anything you want to say about Tsuya? You have like.
Not really, like I said, kind of most of it would go towards like Shikamaru, because I liked how Shikamaru memorized her like flute and stuff, because she was playing it at a different pattern and Shikamaru memorized it as well. Then I do like later on, actually it's at the very start, but it's when like Kimimaro comes and Kimimaro like, "Tayuya, you're slowing us down, like I would kill you right now if it wasn't for Orochimaru," and stuff like that. Stuff.
I remember that. That's so wild. You say you slowed us down, I would kill you right now. It's so reckless. I forgot about that, honestly.
But yeah, I do really like her design when she transforms into a like curse mark state as well. I think that's my favorite design out of them all. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, C tier. I mean, not too much to brag about, you know.
Yeah, honestly. One thing I do like about the Sound 4, one of their only redeeming qualities is that all the curse, well, besides the curse mark 2s look different, but the curse mark 1, all the symbols are kind of like, they look, I mean, most of them are lame, honestly. Like, I think Sasuke has the coolest, the flame thing. Yeah. But it was just cool. It was like different things, but yeah, there's really not much to speak about.
Yeah.
With that, we can talk about the fourth member of the Sound 4.
Yeah, so Kidomaru, I think is his name.
They just weren't being creative with these. That's Kidomaru. That's funny. With the Sound 4, we're really just talking about their fights because I mean that's all the kind of characterization they kind of get. So
yeah.
That's how
besides, I guess, like you said, Sound 5 when we get to Kimimaro.
Yeah. I do think to a degree they all kind of, it was like you said, Sakon had a hunt element, but I think this fight had more of a hunting element, right? Because there was a part in the fight where, like, up until now, Byakugan it was a dojutsu that was more size than the Sharingan. And obviously, when we eventually find out that that's not true, like even in the slightest, at this time, it's still kind of believed that the Byakugan's kind of tough. Like it's up there. I don't know if this is when we learned, but we're told the Byakugan doesn't have a 360 vision. It's like 355 or something.
Yeah, it's like a blind
really,
spot.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah. And like this guy is like, oh yeah, I found the blind spot. He has like this spider web thing, and this I can distinctly remember a scene where Neji's like running and he's like running and turning to kind of move his blind spot so he's not getting caught up. And it's like, damn,
yeah,
they're supposed to be the GOAT at this time, at least for part 1, and he's like no hyperbole getting his ass beat. And it's just kind of like he barely survived it. It was a crazy scene, a crazy fight. I think it's actually probably one of the best.
No, yeah, it's definitely probably my favorite fight out of them all. And like when Neji upgrades his like trigrams even more, and you just see him like speed blitzing all the spiders, and then there's like a slow motion scene of him just hitting all the spiders and stuff like that. It's really good. It's really intense because Neji gets like a hole drilled into him of like the arrow and
that
stuff.
Was gruesome.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of more of a Neji
thing.
Yeah. So.
You think Neji should have died in this? Just since we're like on that topic. Like, that would have been.
I kind of feel like he should have died. If we're talking about like if he had more like relevance later on, like I feel like not as much. Like obviously he comes in with the like Hinata stuff later on to protect Naruto and Hinata in the war. But I still feel like that kind of would have been a good moment for him to go. I wouldn't say the same for people like Choji, because I think Choji had some purpose later on in the war, especially. Yeah. It was a good way for him to go. I always think about that, like people. I mean, Neji is one of the few people that happens to. I mean, Choji could have had his death scene, but yeah, you're right. Choji has some scenes later on. But I mean, we'll throw this guy in the C tier because he's not. I'll put him at the top at least because I do think his fight is the best. But with that, we can talk about Kimimaro. Actually, like the only character I think that actually matters in the Sound 5 overall. Yeah.
we again, he's even a character that like we see you when you look at the episodes or amount of time he's on screen, it's not a lot. Like Kimimaro, we know we found out all the information we learn about him is very, very quick, right? It's like that one arc. It's not even the arc, it's like half the arc. I like the idea of his character, right? Where it's actually very, very similar to Haku, if I'm not mistaken, right? Where his clan's extinct, taken in by this mysterious figure, which is Orochimaru, and Kimimaro is hard. He's kind of that guy. So, like, again, he's one of the three where, like, worst shinobi of the sand. Like Gaara pulls up. First of all, the Kimimaro Rock Lee fight is hard, right?
Yeah, the drunken fist and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we see the drunken fist, which is really, really tough. I'm a big fan of the drunken fist, like the idea of that. Or elixir if you watch the dub. So we get that. Then Gaara pulls up and it's okay, cool. And we get to see, I'm not gonna lie, we see Gaara getting pressed because he has the sand and stuff, and he has like this ultimate defense that's like this super, super big golem type thing, which is, we never see that shit again, but it was cool. So Kimimaro is just kind of like pressing everything. And we see he had some sort of ninja disease. It might be like a bone disease at this point, but he actually ends up dying. But we know Kimimaro was hard. Like, I think even we're told by Kabuto that, if he was here, we would have easily soloed the third Hokage in Konoha. That would have been slight. He was like, he was going to be my host until he got sick. Then I went after Sasuke. So it's like, we were told that he's up there with Uchiha. We know how Orochimaru has this Uchiha fetish. Like, he's fiending for that. Seeing that Kimimaro would have been his number one choice over Sasuke was really, really tough to see. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Kimimaro?
Kimimaro is interesting because one thing as well is that he kind of has some relation to Kaguya as well, because they say he's from like the Kaguya clan, like when he's first mentioned or something, and like he has kind of similar patterns on like you see the two dots on his eyes and stuff. And then I think later in Shippuden, when we get to like a filler, or even like when we look at Ashura and Indra, like those types of people, they all kind of had like similar dots on their heads as well, which is interesting. And he also had the bone style that Kaguya uses as well. And his attacks are really cool as well. Like when he just rips out his like spinal cord and stuff like that, it's nasty, and uses it as like a sword and a whip or whatever. But I really liked his devotion to Orochimaru as well, how he's kind of like ignorant to being used, and Gaara could kind of see that and stuff like that. And Gaara's like I pity you, you sad little pawn, and stuff like that. And it's really it's a really good fight. And then like obviously he dies at the end before getting the final killing, and you see like Gaara sweating, being like, damn, like we just survived that. Crazy.
Yeah. Were we told that he was in the Kaguya clan like in part 1? Was that a thing?
in part 1 they say he's from the like Kaguya clan, but they don't say like,
oh wow.
I'm not exactly sure what relevance he has to Kaguya in specific, but like it's obviously he's from kind of like a descendant or something from like the people back then. I don't know what they were called, but with like Ashura and Indra, they had all those like people around them and stuff like that.
That's tough. That's tough for sure. I actually don't remember that at all, but that's tough. So I mean, Kishimoto might have planned it just a little bit. But I guess that honestly covers the part 1 aspect of things. And I'm not gonna lie, like I mean, just looking at like the part 1, because we have like part 1 people tiered. This is one of the reasons why I think that Shippuden, looking at like we haven't even ranked them yet, but I just like look at the ranking. Like there's one S, there's 2 A's, and there's a bunch of C's and D's. Like Shippuden's gonna push this, like it's gonna really knock that out the water. I think Shippuden has a better villain, so I think this is when we're really gonna like get to the peak of Naruto in terms of like the dynamics and stuff. So.
Yeah. But I guess what would you rate Kimimaro before?
I think Kimimaro. I think an A is not far. I think an A is. I'd go for an A for him.
Damn, an A.
I think he's. Well, actually, looking at like, I think the thing is he's worse than Zabuza and Haku, but he might be the perfect B.
Yeah, I think he's a good B, like a high B. I think.
Because he's like, he clears the sound forward, like we said.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't really have like the characters. Like, we don't really see enough of him.
Yeah.
Or put him over the Zabuza and Haku. So I think it's a good place to put them. But that is part 1. So
I don't know if you want. When should we do Orochimaru as well?
Damn, we should have.
I mean, we can do
Do
him
Orochimaru.
now, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say we can do Orochimaru now. We can do Kabuto.
Oh yeah,
He's,
Kabuto
like,
as well. I
yeah.
forgot.
We can do him later because I feel like I'm not gonna lie. If we want to rank them separately, part 1 Kabuto is I'd see maybe like he's not
Yeah.
tough. I don't think he does. He doesn't do enough for. I think when he fights like Sasuke and Itachi, that's when we see more like actually what Kabuto is.
No, yeah, 100%.
So yeah, Orochimaru, easily in my opinion the creepiest character in Naruto. Like, we talk about like when we talk about like the force of death, that shit was scary. Like when he's like Sasuke burns his face off and he's just like, yeah, it's like what the hell. Or when he's fighting heroes and like you're not even human anymore. And it's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he does that like creepy laugh and stuff like that. It's so good.
Yeah, like Orochimaru is like I mean Pain, Madara, Obito, they're great characters, but we're talking about like he doesn't even like this just almost like demonic, like it's like a force of nature. Orochimaru is that guy. Like Orochimaru before Itachi came on the scene, Orochimaru was the scariest nigga in Naruto. Like he was a top tier villain. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know where you have him, but like I feel like I'm talking myself up to him being really, really high. I'm not gonna lie.
I was gonna say it's hard because part 1, like it kind of builds up Orochimaru as being that guy, like he's the main threat of the series. But then when we get to Shippuden, he kind of goes away because of Sasuke. But obviously, I think I completely understand how he goes out. I think it makes sense for Sasuke to take advantage of Orochimaru being ill and stuff like that to get rid of him. But it does feel a bit anticlimactic for like Orochimaru's character in specific. But
yeah, once Itachi touches the scene, like we get that scene where he basically one shots Orochimaru without doing anything, right? With the basic we tell him again, it's like okay, after that moment from then on Orochimaru was just second place at best, right? Yeah. Then we see like we just kind of see Orochimaru was just not that guy. Like he thought he was that guy, but he's not that guy. Yeah. So it's hard. Like if we did like part 1, I feel like he has the argument to be an S tier. Like
100%. Right? Yeah.
I think he's the best villain in Naruto part 1 because we don't really see Itachi. Like he had the build up, but we don't really see him until part 2. Part 2, Orochimaru, like he's not even a villain at that point. He gets beaten in like the second arc, and after that, he's never really a threat to anyone. No, yeah, so,
he does kind of put up a good fight against when Naruto goes like 4 tails. I think it was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
He's playing around with Naruto and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to go A to kind of balance it out?
I think we'll go A because I feel like he'd be S if he got a satisfying conclusion for his character. But like I said, I understand the story and that like it does make sense for Sasuke to take advantage of that moment and stuff. So yeah.
And to be clear to everyone, like the Gaara that we made in S tier was just like quote unquote villain Gaara. So that's like from when he's shown to when he was beaten by Naruto. Because after that he's not a villain. So. Yeah. But Orochimaru is kind of a villain throughout until Sasuke has this whole revelation about Hokage and stuff, and he's like, I want to. That's when that's when he becomes like he's just following Sasuke. And it's like damn, how the tables have turned, which is just kind of funny. So now we're going into Shippuden. So the first Shippuden villain is it Sasori?
Yeah, we'll go with Sasori.
So I'm not gonna lie, Sasori he didn't do a lot for me. Like I've heard like people talk. I've watched and analysis videos and stuff like that. Like Sasori, you know, he's all this, and I just never kind of. I mean, it's unfortunate because I think Sasori he has cool feats and stuff, but like I guess this is kind of. I mean, we know he gets beat by he doesn't just get beat by Sakura, but Sakura is the main person beating him. That doesn't really take away from him. They kind of. Like I wish he had like a moment where we kind of saw what he could do fully, because we know that in that fight against Sasori and against Sakura and Grandma Chiyo, like he's not really trying. Obviously, that's not all that has to do with like a character. Like it's more than just a fight. Yeah, I feel like even like the dynamic of him and his parents, it was cool, but I feel like it never did a lot for me personally. But what do you think?
I do like his backstory of how like his mom and dad, they never returned from their mission because they got killed by Kakashi's dad, by the White Fang, and he built those puppets to, you know, reenact having like someone that loved him and stuff like that, and then he kind of throws away his human heart per se, you know, for like to live as a his own kind of puppet and stuff. And then like at the end we even see it's been said that he let himself get hit by that last attack by Granny Chia with, you know, his two parent puppets coming to like stab him and stuff like that. And it's nice because it goes back to like showing how, you know, when he was a kid he got hugged by his parents, and it's kind of like the same thing now with them both over his shoulders, but obviously now killing him and stuff like that. But he is cool. I do really like his like performance of 1,000 puppets, I think it was, and stuff. And like he gets kind of to that crazy point where it's like, bro, I did not think I'd have to go all out against like some witch and a little girl and stuff like that. And like yeah, he's really cool. I do like his bouncing back and forth with like Deidara and stuff when they discuss what's art. Like, you know, when Naruto barges into the Akatsuki hideout and Deidara's just sitting on Gaara's dead corpse and they're both arguing about like arts and stuff like that.
I'm not gonna lie, you kind of talked me into it. I do. I kind of forgot. I didn't forget, but like that dynamic between like Sasori and his parents were kind of cool. Like we know that was a real thing with it. Like, I actually forgot that it was Kakashi's dad who killed his parents. That's actually crazy. So that was cool to see. Obviously seeing Grandma Chia. Grandma Chia was she was a character. We didn't see a lot of her, but that was a cool dynamic between her and Sasori. Yeah. And then like one thing I did like about we'll touch on. I used to call them Deidara, but people like Deidara, so
well, we know what we mean anyway.
Yeah, but I like the dynamic between those two because Deidara, he's like art's an explosion, like art's quick, right? Art's you know endless, right? Art's that's him, and then Sasori's like art is like prolonged, it's like
it's eternal,
lasting and stuff. Yeah, but the way they go about in battle is the opposite. Like Deidara's art's an explosion, but he likes to take his time with his battle. He likes to prolong it. Yeah. Whereas Sasori, for the most part, makes things quick and like, you know, not quick and painless, but he makes things very like quicker. Yeah. So I've always liked that. That's like a thing between those two that I like the art duo. It was cool seeing, I don't know, Michelangelo and Raphael or whatever two artists you want to think about. It's cool seeing them, you know, go crazy. So I'm thinking B. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, I'd say, I guess, I definitely put him above Kimimaro, for sure, anyway. But I could see a good reason for why people would put him in A as well. But
yeah, I'm not mad at A.
Yeah, if you want, put him in A, if you want. Or do you want
What do you think? I feel like...
I feel like it could just go either way, honestly.
I'll give him A. I feel like that's like the symbolism and stuff, even like you said, like the way his parents hugged him, and I think it was a similar thing where his parents kind of like killed him. It's like, damn. Yeah. And that's kind of tough, so I gotta give it to him. Okay. I think the next is no, actually, let me think.
Well, we can do Deidara anyway, even though like he dies a bit later on and stuff like that. We can still do him.
I'm not gonna lie, Deidara he's hard. So he fights a couple people. So he fights Naruto very, very quickly. That doesn't really. He's just kind of making fun of Sasuke. That's not really a thing. And he fights Kakashi. And that was a cool fight. Although that's a fight that I'm not gonna lie, I don't go back and look at. But I think it's his battle with Sasuke where I think that's when his characterization really goes to the brim, right? So you get to see his backstory in which Itachi, because it's funny because Itachi defeated Orochimaru. We touched upon that a little bit before, but because of that, I'm pretty sure Pain or Obito or someone's like, "Yo, you lost in the Akatsuki, you have to get another one." So Itachi's like, "I'm gonna get this guy." So Itachi's like, "I'll fight." He's fighting Deidara, and he's pressing him, and at the end, the Genjutsu, because it's Itachi, come on now. So he puts him in Genjutsu, and the coolest moment I think in the scene where one of his art explosions, and it's like, damn, and it's like they're in like this Buddhist temple type thing, I think, something like that. And Itachi's like standing, and behind him is like the sun. And he's like, "This is art." Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of glazing, but that shit was hard. I'm like, yo, Itachi's just him. We always know Itachi's him. Yeah. But after that, obviously, Deidara, he's like, oh, I hate the Uchiha. So he basically devises a way to be immune to Genjutsu. He kind of trained his eye, which I didn't even know until him. You could do that. Like, you just like train. Obviously, we found out later it doesn't even work, but. Then he fights Sasuke, who's Itachi's little brother. So he's like, no, I can't kill Itachi because I'm not strong than that nigga. But I can fight Sasuke because he's here. Like, if I kill Sasuke, that would be like a throwing him back in Itachi's face. Yeah. And it's kind of a thing of, it's not so much like Rock Lee Gaara, but it's kind of thing of like natural talent. And there's certain things that he just couldn't overcome. Like, he could just never overcome the Sharingan. Yeah. Throughout the whole fight, that's a really, really good fight, underrated fight. Go and watch that. Sasuke versus Deidara. We see it's like Sasuke's always a step ahead. Like Sasuke, oh my gosh, this is probably Sasuke's peak as an analytical fighter. Like we just look at, he uses, I think the one time he throws his sword on the ground with like lightning to find out if he looked for where the mines were. It's really good. So we see Sasuke in his analytical bag. He's kind of one-upping Deidara every step of the way, to the point where he just gets mad. He's like, you know, F this, I'm gonna kill all of us. And Sasuke still survives because he activates the Sharingan, brings out Manda, which is one of his summonings, and he basically puts it on a Genjutsu. So we see that. I think also Sasuke puts Deidara in Genjutsu at some point in time. So
yeah,
like it's a good fight. I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, I like Deidara. I like what he kind of brings.
With Deidara, he's easily my favorite Akatsuki member, I'd say. So like for me, if I was going like personal, I'd be like, yeah, S tier. Let's put him in S tier. I know he probably can't, but with Deidara, I do really like how I like how frustrated he is of how overpowered the Uchiha are and stuff like that. And even at the end when he's like, bro, I hate you and your brother. You think you're so cool with your damn eyes and stuff like that. And then Sasuke's like, bro, I don't care. Just tell me where Itachi is. And then Data's like, bro, really? And then he obviously, you know, he kills himself and stuff like that with his massive explosion. But yeah, I really love Deidara and stuff. He has a fun little dynamic as well with like Toby and stuff.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, you kind of touched on all the points of why I really love his character, but it's weird because he doesn't have like, he's not as deep as like, I guess, you know, Gaara, or I guess complex is a better word to say it, but I think he does a really good like job of still being compelling even without having a very rich backstory. A lot of it is kind of him just being petty and wanting to think his art is, you know, the shit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd say like he's easily A tier for this.
Yeah. And I was gonna say you could sell me because I'm kind of like, I think he's an A tier as well. But yeah, I think he's an underrated aspect of just the show.
Because even like you said, like with his like Sasuke versus his fight with Sasuke and stuff, that's like one of the most underrated fights like in the entire show, I think. And it's just funny the entire time thinking Deidara's like, there's one point where it's like, I won, and then he just realizes he's in a Genjutsu and gets punched by Sasuke. Like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a great fight, but I do think he should stay in A tier, because like no way I could put him in like S tier with like Pain and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, you touched upon this a little bit. An underrated funny part about the whole thing is like, this is like Deidara's like, this is his symphony, like this is his moment, because he's like, I can't kill Itachi, right? But I can kill his little brother. This is gonna be so great. And Sasuke's thinking like yo, Sasuke doesn't even want to fight. He's like, yo, just tell me where Itachi is. I don't care. Like he just wants to fight where Itachi is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's like, why is that you? It's kind of like, oh, these Uchiha, they're so spoiled. It was just funny when you think about like that. That's probably one of the most not insignificant, but it's probably like that fight did not need to happen. Like if you tell him where Itachi is, he probably just leaves you alone. So that's a funny thing.
Because it is a really weird like matchup as well. I would have never thought like this fight would ever happen, but like it's good that it does happen, and it's kind of, it feels like Deidara is fighting against Itachi, because Sasuke is literally just ignoring his art. Like you said, he just wants to know where Itachi is, and obviously that's given Deidara deja vu, and it's just like annoying him even more and more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's the only question I have is, does he go above Orochimaru or is he behind?
I prefer him over Orochimaru, but like I can see him being just under, because I know a lot of people would probably have Orochimaru above him.
You can go over. I'm not really opposed to him. Yeah, actually, I do like Deidara.
All right. Cool.
Despite the fact that his name is I don't know when we started changing how his name was pronounced. That bug like that threw me off. Next, I
guess Hidan and Kakuzu.
Yeah, we can tackle them together. Well, I mean, we can give them their own thing. It doesn't really matter.
No, yeah.
Hidan, I actually like Hidan for what he does. Right, he's not a crazy villain, but I think the characterization between the characterization that he does for Shikamaru and like Team Asuma, I think he did his job like perfectly. Like you can kind of touch upon it more. I feel like I've been kind of like given the whole description. So I can throw that to you. But I do like what Hidan does for like the character Shikamaru. Like Shikamaru actually has his own arc, and that's just really, really good. So
yeah, like you said, he's kind of just there for Shikamaru. I guess the most interesting thing about him is that he's very different compared to all the Akatsuki members. I guess besides Toby, like he's very, I guess, stupid and stuff. He's very happy all the time, just to be killing people and like hurting himself. And like, like even after when he kills Asuma, there's a scene where it's like, oh yeah, that's the stuff, and it's like, all right, like, way to ruin that moment and stuff like that. But yeah, he is good. And then like obviously when Asuma cuts off his head for the first time, you think he's dead, but then he's just like, oh, Kakuzu, can you like come over here and like reattach my head for me, please, and stuff like that. And it's cool as well. It will lead into Kakuzu later on, but the only reason they're together is because, like, you know, Hidan is immortal and Kakuzu like always kills, like he always ends up killing his teammates and stuff like that, so they're kind of like the perfect mix for each other. But
like the Akatsuki duos, honestly.
Yeah, he really isn't anything that special. It's really unfortunate we didn't learn more about his like religion with Jashin and stuff like that. Yeah, so honestly, like, I don't think he's that high tier of a villain. He's very entertaining, I guess, but like he's also like probably the weakest member of the Akatsuki as well. Like, yeah, he does have that invincibility stuff, immortal, but like Shikamaru countered it, and it's just he's dumb. He's just kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have him very high. Like, I guess he'd probably be like the bottom of B, I guess, for me.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't know what you think.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna lie. The C tier is they're huff. They're very, very huff. Like you don't even remember their names type huff, right? But I remember his name in this, so I'm gonna put him in B. I think I'll put him under Kimimaro.
No, yeah, I still put him above like the Soundful anyway and stuff.
Yeah. So I think B is a perfect spot for bro. That did not mean to do that. So then we can do Kakuzu. I think Kakuzu might be worse than Hidan though, because at least Hidan had even though it's more characterization for Shikamaru than anyone.
Yeah.
Hidan, sometimes I give villains credit, especially like in this case, right? Because Hidan was he's the thematic tool that Kishimoto uses to kind of expand on Shikamaru's character kind of thing, right? So that's I give villains like that credit.
Yeah.
But Kakuzu, like, I think Naruto, like, first of all, Naruto, he's the one villain that Naruto was just like, he had no Taijutsu for him. Like, there was nothing for him. And also, like, he's kind of got beat. And the fights were cool with him. I think the Kakashi Kakuzu fight was cool.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, but that's really I have like less to say about Kakuzu than I do Hidan.
With Kakuzu, I do like there is like one interesting aspect to his past with that he did. I think it was said that he did kill the first Hokage or something like that. And throughout he's been alive for like years, and like we find out it's because he's just stealing the hearts of like shinobis and stuff like that. And I do like how he's all about that money as well. Like when he's going to return his bounties, you just see him like flicking through the cash and stuff. And then when they kill Asuma and the Leaf Village like shinobi are trying to like bring him back, Kakuzu just jumps up on the building and is like, bro, I ain't leaving without my bounty and stuff like that.
He's the epitome of like it's just all about the money, which I respect. But yeah, it was that I forgot about that. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And that scene, the whole like the first Hokage thing, like I'm not gonna lie, it's cool. Like I think they wanted to hype him up.
Yeah.
Then we see the first Hokage and it's like, okay, this don't make no damn sense. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, his form is kind of I do like his kind of final form as well, especially in the manga, because Kishimoto used kind of like exaggerated ink brush paint effects and stuff like that, which is kind of seen in the anime. Like it looks very different from the normal art style, which I like, because it kind of fits his kind of monstrous vibe, because he's been alive for years just stealing the hearts of people and stuff like that. Yeah, he's cool. I do like during the Asuma fight where he kind of lets Hidan get his head chopped off, because Hidan was like, you know, don't interfere with this fight, let me handle it. But then when he's getting backed into a corner, he's like, Kakuzu, you can jump in now, you know, you don't need to watch me. And Kakuzu's like, nah, I'll just let you die and stuff. But yeah, it's the same kind of thing with Hidan, that they're kind of just entertaining, and that's it really. They're not too complex. And like you said, Naruto just kind of comes in, takes him out with relative ease a bit. It was a bit too easy for my liking, I'd say, but
yeah, he kind of pulls up, Shao-Kun, Russian Shuriken's like, alright, damn.
Yeah.
Like it was quick. So I'll put I think Kakuzu, he can get that B slot. He'd be right under Hidan, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I guess we should do Itachi next, because that's kind of the point where he ends being a villain after his fight with Sasuke, right?
Yeah, so we have Itachi, and I don't mean to put him in D, that's funny. Itachi, obviously, I think when we talk about height, like everyone knows, like the Itachi Sasuke fight, that was hype for like God. The beginning of the show, Sasuke's like, I want to kill a certain someone. We kind of get little glimpses and stuff like that. Then Itachi comes back and he's like, yeah, Itachi's just that nigga. Like I need to speak on it, but we don't really need to speak on it. Like Itachi has that scene where he's like, you know, you can't be me, you don't have enough hate, and you never will. It's like, damn, that's like, like Itachi as a villain. Like when you just think about him as a villain, like he checks the boxes, right? So he you know, he kills his clan. We know about that. Doesn't make Genjutsu. We know about that. He comes back and like he comes back and reminds him how much weaker he is, and then puts him in Genjutsu again. So all right, you're actually kind of taxing right now. So. I mean, what do you feel about Itachi as a villain, just like overall?
It's hard, because like I feel like Itachi's, I don't know, it's hard to say, because obviously not all of his character in the show is him being the villain and stuff, because we learn it's all just, you know, an act. But even so, he does have that really intimidating aura. Like I remember in the Search for Tsunade arc, where like he knocks on the door and then Naruto just opens it and Itachi's staring at him. It's like, you know, you're coming with me. You're coming with me, little boy.
Like, yeah, like so proper. Like he knocks on the door and everything. You know, Naruto's like, oh, who's at the door type thing. That's funny.
But
yeah, to your point. Yeah, what were you saying?
No, you continue with that.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, to your point, what makes Itachi an S-class villain or an S-class character, I'd argue, is all for the most part after he's a villain, right? When we see what he went through with Sasuke and like all those dynamics, we don't get that until after he's revealed to not be a villain. So that's where I think it's kind of hard. Like if you look at Sasuke, Itachi as a character, which is from part 1 of Naruto all the way up to the last fight, or not the last fight, the fight between Sasuke and Itachi, that's him being a villain. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, is that better than Orochimaru as an 8? Like, is that really better than I don't think that's better than Orochimaru in part 1 is what I'd say. But you know, we ranked Orochimaru as part 1 and 2. So I guess like the question is that enough for him to be S tier? Because it's always like,
I think it's like, even though it's all an act, he still did kill Sasuke's entire clan and stuff like that. Like that's pretty fucked up. And then like making him relive that moment for like hours upon end. And then I forgot as well, but also when Kakashi faces Itachi and puts him on the cross and stuff like that, it's like for the next 48 hours or something like that. This will be your hell. Yeah.
That was tough. That was the end. He's like, for the next 72 hours, you're like, this is your hell. Yeah, that was tough. It was very tough. Very tough. Tsukiyomi, like even like his abilities, right? In part 1, we see like he uses Tsukiyomi a couple times. He uses like once or twice. That was tough. Every time he used it, it was like it literally broke people, right? Yeah. Then we see Amaterasu, and we only see that a little bit in part 1. I think he used that to escape the frog thing that Jiraiya set up. Then we see Susanoo, which is we see that against Sasuke, and it's like I just like Itachi just had this aura, like you said, where it's just like anytime he's around, you're just it's not as much unease as like Orochimaru, but it's like an unease of like, damn, like there's no one in this entire area that can hang with him. So I'm worried type thing. So that's what I kind of feel for him.
Honestly, I feel like I'd still put him in S tier, because he's really like, he has that such a massive build up, because you know he's why Sasuke is the way he is and stuff like that. And I still feel like I put him in S tier, but I put him below, I think maybe below Gaara for it.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
mad
know
at
about
that.
you, what you think about that. It just feels really weird putting Itachi like not in S tier for me.
Yeah, it does feel weird. I guess I just want to note that like Itachi, like it's to me that what makes Itachi the guaranteed S tier, like and just in all characters, I feel like he misses like a chunk of that. So I think
Yeah,
I would put him below Gar. I think yeah, he is
yeah,
still an S tier character when you look at it.
yeah.
So shout out Itachi. I think even just as a sociopath, like that scene where Itachi's like he tells the Madara story about Madara and Izuna. He's like, yeah, your eyes, and like, I
Yeah.
want your eyes. It's like, he's like, all right, bro, like he's like, you wild, like, bro, relax, you're kind of wild right now. So yeah, S tier villain for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so put that guy right below Gaara, and next person's like Konan, right?
I guess we should
Oh, no,
should we
I
do
guess-
Pain? I guess.
Yeah, we should do
Yeah.
Pain. So guys, I think I'm gonna use some of this visual. So
Yeah.
Gato is who we're using as like the picture of Pain, just so you know. Pain, so to me, just like Drew, to me, Pain's the best villain in Naruto. I think that's where I have him on. It's a thing where Kishimoto likes to show villains, and he likes to show the parallels between them and Naruto. I think the parallel between Pain and Naruto was done the best, right? So they're like cousin students. I don't know what the dynamic for that, a family tree of students is, because they both have they're both the students of Jiraiya, right? So we see that Jiraiya was told he had a child of destiny. So Jiraiya in his mind's like, okay, is it the fourth Hokage, Minato? He saved the village. Maybe it's not him. Is it, Nagato? He has the Renegon. It's not really him. Is it Naruto? Like he kind of has these students. He's like, which one of them is the child of destiny? Because I think the child of destiny is supposed to be like either, isn't like you either save the world or destroy the world, or something like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we just see that, and honestly, like Pain, like the philosophy of him too, where he's like, one of my favorite scenes where Naruto's like, I'm gonna kill you, and Pain's like, I actually made a video about this. I made multiple videos about this because I love the character of Pain, but it's a thing of Pain's like, oh yeah, you want to kill me because of what I did to your village, but I'm only doing this because of what was done to my village. What about my village? What about my family, my friends? Like, I lost them because the Konoha ninja did me dirty. So yeah, you can want to kill me, that's fine. But all you're gonna do in killing me is someone who's one of these little kids that are deifying me, who view me as a god, is gonna be like, oh, Naruto Uzumaki killed him? Okay, well, I'm gonna kill Naruto Uzumaki. And it was like, yeah, the cycle of hatred, and that's kind of like, from then on, that's like that's the theme of the series to me. So it's like he's just that guy.
Yeah.
There's just the fight's amazing, like the dynamics amazing.
I feel like it's easy. I mean, like, he's obviously gonna be a S tier and stuff. I would not be opposed to people saying like he's the best villain in Naruto. It switches between him and Madara for me. And it's interesting you said that you think Pain is the best, I guess, parallel to Naruto, because a lot of people think it's Obito. Because I think, like you were touching on before about how people criticize Naruto for like him going against different versions of himself, but that's kind of what the whole show is based on, to show how strong like Naruto's will is when it comes to countering the whole ninja system in general and stuff like that. And these are all kind of I guess quote unquote evil Narutos that have gone down different paths and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I love Pain. His abilities are cool. I mean, he destroyed the whole village like so quicker than Orochimaru did, So
Yo, but just one shot at something.
but yeah, he killed Jiraiya, which is crazy. He has a cool, I guess, secret to him with all the paths of Pains, because I guess because Pain is Nagato, I guess, is what we're also including. But with like all his eyes are linked between all the other paths of Pain and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, like, I feel like it's just kind of common sense, really. We all know why. Cycle of hatred, stuff like that. And yeah,
the Pain Jiraiya scene is kind of crazy. Like, just looking at it again, it's like, damn. Like, Jiraiya does get jumped, but I mean, it's just overall like you said, top tier.
Yeah.
So, slide up. Gato is Pain, so like, so I was like watch the video without looking and be like, yo, Gato's not that good of a villain.
Well, if you put some visuals on the screen of like just some Pain stuff, then I'm sure people will be like, oh,
yeah,
okay, there we go.
they'll know, yeah. But so after Pain, I think you then go Konan, because Konan fights Obito right after.
Yeah, we can do Konan. Yeah.
And what do you think about Konan just overall?
I really love Konan, even though like she doesn't. It's unfortunate she's kind of in like Pain's shadow for the most part of it. But like I do really love her abilities. Her design is cool. I just wish she kind of had her own personal fight, like maybe in the Konoha invasion. She had some.
Yeah,
fight.
she should have fought someone.
Yeah, because I remember even in the opening for that fight, it showed her fighting like Sakura, Ino, and Hinata, and like that would have been some cool ass fight, like a 3-on-1 kind of fight. But she's cool. She has like the biggest prep time I've ever seen in a show. Where like, first of all, she was like she was always like cautious of Obito, and like she knew his abilities and stuff like that. She was preparing for that. And then like later on when they actually fight, it's like it was like 1 billion paper bombs or something like that, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, and Obito still gets out of that somehow. But that's a really good fight. I do really like that, and how much trust she has in like Naruto and stuff like that. But yeah. I do really love Konan.
I think Konan for me is kind of, I think I'm on the side of like I wish she got more to her. Like she's always the person beside Nagato and Yahiko, right? She's that third person. Like we never really see her, like she never really gets her moment. I think that the million paper bombs is kind of OC. Like she has that Batman level prep time and shit, but we don't ever really see her kind of get into her bag with it. So it's a little upsetting that we don't get to see it, but I still like what she kind of is. So I guess to your point,
yeah.
I don't know where I'm just looking at where I kind of put her. It's weird. I don't know, like with her as a villain or her as a character. I don't know where, like, what would you?
Yeah, it's hard to say, because even with like the Obito fight, she's not really a villain at that moment.
Yeah.
So
we gotta give her something at that point.
It's hard. I still feel like we just put her like at B tier, I'd say, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll put her like above Kimimaro.
Maybe below. I think just below Kimimaro, I'd say.
Yeah. After that I mean we can do. I don't know where we're gonna. Let's just do Hanzo now, because I think Hanzo we can kind of get the backstory for Pain around this time, and yeah, Hanzo, that's a big part. So like Hanzo's another character where it's like we should have got I know that Kishimoto, I don't even know when we're gonna get this, but Kishimoto did the little thing of like, I think it was like vote for a Naruto character to get like a one shot or I think a spin-off thing. Hanzo, I was gonna make a video on this, but Hanzo is one of those like guys where I kind of wanted one about him, because Hanzo has these weird feats, right? Where Hanzo is so cold that he fights 3 ninja, right? He fights a bunch of ninja, and just for surviving a battle with these guys, like just for them surviving an encounter with him, he's like, okay, I'll deem you the legendary Sani. Yeah. And from then on, everyone in their mom call, like, it's such a respected title that everyone in their, it's damn near, after Hokage, it's like the most respected title in the series.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why would I mess with the legendary Sani? Like Itachi says it, Kisame, Pain, Madara. I'm assuming like Madara probably didn't say it because he didn't know that shit. But like everyone that's in the series is like, yo, the Sani. They just that title is so like, you know, celebrated. And it's like when you think about it, they just got the title for survive. Like, not even beating, bro, but surviving.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of that guy. Then he gets killed by an early Tendo Pain. And obviously, like, I think Hanzo gets a lot weaker and stuff. Well, he got like older and weak, but it's just kind of funny where it's like, I mean, obviously the 3 Sani weren't in their, like, legendary Sani weren't in their prime, but they were probably still tough. So like, he's able to hold off against the legendary Sani, and then he gets like, it seemed like he got like damn near one shot by Tendo Pain.
Yeah,
So
well,
there's that.
What's probably the most interesting part of like the whole like Pain thing is that like I think like Pain killed his entire bloodline, so they just wouldn't that he had no family members left. But
yeah, like,
because obviously we also have with the whole like Nagato and Yahiko situation where Yahiko had to like kill himself and stuff. But I don't know, I don't really rate him that high, to be honest. I think a lot of people do really like him, but I'm kind of like, I never really had that big of thoughts regarding his character, if I'm being honest. Because like you said, we don't really get much from him, I guess.
Yeah. I guess for him, he's just kind of like the catalyst of a lot of stuff. He's the catalyst of like what makes Pain. They had the Akatsuki originally, but the Akatsuki with this good group. And Hanzo kind of pulls him, and he's like, you either kill Yuhiko or you kill Nagato type thing, right? One of you two has to die. And obviously, Yuhiko takes the decision, or makes the decision. And we, I think that obviously puts Nagato on this path of the, the cycle of hatred. And then he kind of gives the legendary Sanin their legendary status. But yeah, I mean, besides that, he doesn't really do a lot. I guess I just like he does for those sets of characters. But
where would you want to put him? Because I really have no clue with him.
No clue. I feel like if Kakuzu was a B tier, he could at least be a B tier.
Okay, like, I won't put him in D tier. Okay.
What? That's OC. D tier's OC. D tier's low OC. That's funny. Like yo, like all Kakuzu did was eat a rest of Shuriken. Like anyone could have done that. Like, I'll put him like, I'll put him below Hidan. I think he could be above Hidan low key, but I'll put him below Hidan.
Okay, cool.
And then we go Danzo.
Yeah, we'll go Danzo.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy. But like, actually, I like Danzo because of how much I think we're supposed to hate Danzo.
Yeah, he
like,
does
Danzo,
his job like really well.
Perfectly. Like I'm not gonna lie, my most hated character is Hiruzen, because fuck that nigga. The big reason why I don't like Hiruzen is because of like he kind of allows Danzo to Danzo it up, right? Danzo's just doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it. Like Danzo's the reason that Naruto's hated by the village. He kind of spread the rumor that the Nine Tails did that. He's the reason the Uchiha were massacred, which affects Sasuke and Itachi.
Yeah.
He's just doing stuff. He was just doing a lot of shit behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I was gonna say he's also the reason like Naruto arrived late for the Pain invasion, because he killed the frog that was supposed to go and warn Naruto that like
really?
Pain had arrived. Yeah, he killed the frog, and Danzo was like, good, now the Nine Tails can like stay caged up away. And then he ordered like all of his underground people to stay underground during the entire Pain invasion and stuff like that. Like, he's snaky, man. Yeah. Go on.
I didn't even know that. Nah, you're straight. I did not even. Yeah, Danzo's the POS in every sense of the word. But then he gets a lot of characterization in his fight with Sasuke, right? Because Sasuke, I'm not gonna lie, Sasuke pulls up. He's like in the Kaguya stuff, Sasuke's on timing, right? Because before then, Sasuke was not like, he was not evil, but like in this arc, he's going crazy. Like he pulls up and he's on some like what's he do? Like the cool scene when he pulled up to the Kaguya summon and he's like upside down. That was tough, right? Sasuke doing a lot of cool shit. And like he ends up fighting Danzo, and he's killing Danzo like every 2 seconds. But towards the end of the fight, Danzo's like freaking out because he's like, I was never better than Hiruzen. I could never beat him. Like Hiruzen became Hokage, I couldn't do it. And it's like, it's low key a little sad where it's like, damn, like even the scene where Hiruzen becomes Hokage, it's because Hiruzen raised his hand first, bro, right? He was like,
I love that. It's so human as well. Where it's like, why can't I raise my hand? Like I want to go like, offer myself as the
sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And he's like, I just can't do it, but then Hiruzen does it, and it's like, what the hell? And like that was his moment to become like, he could have become Hokage and stuff. Like it's crazy.
And the funny part I really like about that scene too, I think doesn't Tobirama right after he's like, Danzo, you he's like, you're very he's like, you're very evil. He says, he like kind of like almost berates him or something.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like, bro, insult to injury. And it's really funny because I think someone said, it's like a Twitter comment. They were like, bro, Danzo was really an evil guy because Tobirama is a sketch. Like, Tobirama's like, what's it called? Morals are gray, to say the least. And he's even like, yeah, Danzo's too evil for this. Like Danzo is most like Tobirama, and Tobirama's like, yeah, you're an issue. So that was funny. I like Danzo, that's what I was saying.
No, yeah. I do also like, in his fight with Sasuke, when Sasuke's like choke holding him with his like Susanoo, and he's like, is everything like what happened with the Uchiha clan with Itachi, is it true? And Danzo's like, he's like, damn, so Itachi really is like a traitor, like right to the end and stuff. And it's like, that's crazy. After all Itachi has done to like, be a villain in the Akatsuki, kill his entire clan and stuff like that. It's like, oh,
yeah, he acts like Itachi was like this, yeah. And another cool scene to your point, that's actually, I forgot, that was a wild scene where, yeah. just like he values no one. But I think a cool scene as well in that area where he's like, I think it's when he first reveals his Sharingan arm, and Sasuke's like, how many Uchiha did you have to massacre to get that arm? That was tough. I'm like, yo, it's really crazy. I was really hype about that. You just kind of see like Danzo's not that guy, but he's low key that guy for being like a villain.
No, yeah,
I think like an A tier villain.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. Because I was gonna say it also makes sense that he kind of sucks with the Izanagi as well. Because people criticize like the fight that Danzo kind of just spams it. He just lets himself get hit a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and use it. But I think it makes sense that like because he just stole these eyes from the Uchiha clan, and I like how he just doesn't know how to use like the eyes properly to like benefit him more and stuff. It kind of just suits his character a lot more, I think. And, and then also I was gonna forget as well, when they were in the Kage Summit and they were deciding who should lead like the 5 great nations, like he put the main guy under Genjutsu to make him say it should be him and stuff.
Like, he's wild.
I don't know. I feel like there could be a reason for him to be S tier, you know? Like, he does a really good job, and I know a lot of people hate him, but, like, more touching on
That's
before.
his job.
Yeah, exactly.
His job is to be the most unlikable character in the series, and I think he does that perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I think looking at, like, if Gaara's an S tier, like, I love Gaara, but I think he could be an S tier, too.
I think he could be S tier, yeah. I think he definitely
He's above, like, Deidara, for instance. Like, I think there's a gap.
Yeah.
So I'll put him in S tier. Then we touch on Kisame, I think.
Yeah.
Kisame is not as good as, like, we just talked about Danzo, but I like what Kisame is as a character, like, because when you look at the Akatsuki duos, one thing I like is they kind of touch upon, like, they're very, there's usually like a theme with them, right? Like, you know, the art duo, the immortal duo, like Kisame and Itachi, like, they're the duo. I think I watched a video about this recently. Like, they're usually opposites about a certain dynamic, and the opposite for them is that Kisame is all about loyalty, like, and that's actually, like, I mean, Itachi. I love Itachi, but Itachi's character is supposed to be about, like, being traitorous. Like, that's his thing. Yeah. Obviously, Kisame is traitorous as well. But when you think about it, Kisame is, like, through and through what a ninja is supposed to be. What we were described as a ninja, and, you know, it circles back with Zabuza and Haku, right? Because I think in his village at the time, to pass the Chunin, you gotta kill your comrades. That's like, he does that. There's no problem with that. And obviously towards the end of his battle, my guy, there's certain, I think it was like their fight for information, because they want to send the information that could have to do with, like, Obito, and about, I think, because someone, like, scanned his memory, so they were gonna have information about who Obito or who the masked man was. And Kisame at the end basically has his sharks eat him, and it's like, oh shit, like, this is real. Like he went out like a ninja. Like, that's, so I think you have to kind of respect that part of him. Like, we don't really get a lot of, like, characterization with Kisame, but I like what we do get with him, is what I'd say.
No, yeah. What to say? Yeah, you basically touched upon everything I was gonna say. Because I'd say as well, I do like the conversation him and Itachi have when they both first meet for the first time, and Kisame, like, raises his sword against Itachi, and Itachi's like, those who raise their swords, like, against their comrades will never die, like, a good death and stuff like that. So
that's tough, because he did that's tough. That's actually super tough. Yeah, like, the dynamic of Kisame and Itachi is really, really cool. We don't see it a lot, which I wish we saw more. Like, we really just see it in part 1.
Yeah.
But it was tough, that's what I'd say.
And I guess you also touched upon it as well, but, like, him and Mike Guy was kind of good as well. But Guy kind of always forgot his name when it came to them fighting.
Really hoes, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of crazy. Did not remember him at all.
He also fights Killer Bee as well. And then we see, what's it? I do like his sword as well, Samehada, I think it's called. And how it kind of has a mind of its own, with it goes to whoever likes the chakra it has more, or something like that. And then during the end of the Killer Bee fight, they kind of, when Samehada likes Killer Bee's chakra more, and Kisame just, like, kicks his sword, like, against the tree. It's like, you damn sword and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
the loyalty aspect.
Yeah.
And it's good. Kisame kind of got hold at the end and was like, damn. But yeah, Kisame, he's that guy. I feel like a lot of people, we're getting to the point where everyone's kind of that guy, but I do like how Kisame, like, how we kind of get his character and what we get with him, like the loyalty and all that. That's very, very important. So,
I put him. I say probably. I don't know. I feel like he's more of a B tier for me, but I don't know about you.
oh, you think he's B tier?
Do you think he's A tier?
I thought he's A tier, honestly. I don't think he's like I don't think he's anywhere like above. He might be the end of A tier, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he got an argument for Sasori
Mm.
around there.
If you want to put him bottom A tier, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think bottom A tier is good for him.
Yeah.
Then we go to Kabuto. So yeah, what do you think on Kabuto? Because Kabuto is very interesting, is what I'd say.
I think he's definitely one of the most underrated villains in Naruto. I think mainly because throughout all of part 1 and for a lot of Shippuden, he's under Orochimaru's shadow a lot of the time. But even so, like, what he does in part 1 is really impressive. Like, he's very sneaky and snarky. You know, he tricks Naruto and all that to believing they're on his side. And then, even when it came to... He's ruthless in the Tsunade fight as well. Like, Tsunade's screaming for him to, like, stop while... Kabuto's like, you know, I always respected you. To see you like this is kind of pathetic because she's still afraid of blood and stuff like that. And he just starts beating on her. Like, it's pretty crazy. Then he goes over to, like, beat Naruto on the ground, like, kicking him helpless. Like, he's pretty ruthless, you know. And then, I do like his characters explored more with the Sasuke and Itachi fight, where we see more of, you know, he always had an identity crisis where he didn't know who he truly was, and that makes sense with, you know, he had his whole loyalty to Sasori as well as Orochimaru back on the Tenchi Bridge stuff. And yeah, I think it's all done really well, honestly. I don't know what your thoughts on him are, because a lot of people either just underappreciate him or they just kind of disregard his character a lot of the time.
Yeah. I think what Kabuto does as a character is really, really good. Like you kind of pointed out, when we see like he actually get his backstory, and he's like the epitome of a nobody, right? Because I forgot why he didn't know his parents were, but he was basically grew up in an orphanage, and then like he kind of like never existed. Kind of that's like a big thing with him. So because of that, he was a perfect person for Orochimaru to manipulate. One thing I like about the Itachi Sasuke battle is that Itachi's always talking about like true self and finding your true self, because Itachi had hid his true self for so long, and Sasuke needed to find his true self because of what Itachi put him through. But Kabuto was also a character where it's like, what is your true self kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's like, I like that perspective. I don't know where Kabuto would go, but I do think he is like he's a good villain. Like he's up there, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
I could definitely see a reason to put him in S tier, honestly. But I think for me personally, he's definitely in the A tier.
So he's an A tier, okay.
Yeah, I don't. Where would you put him? Because I feel like you'd have an issue putting him like above Orochimaru and stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like he like his character. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think he's better than Orochimaru. But he's A tier for sure. I think he's definitely an interesting, like he's the character. He's like the Stan character. If you ever like listening to Eminem's song Stan, where he's like he just wants to be Orochimaru. He's just like assimilating people. Like even in the fight, he uses the sound for his abilities. Like, he's just kind of a copycat. That's like his whole thing. Yeah. So I do like Kabuto. I do like what he does. But I don't really. I mean, I don't have much to say about him. But I think I think an A tier. Villain is that's a good place for him, honestly. Yeah,
because for me, I would put him above Orochimaru, I'd say, because I feel like he does have a lot more to him that's explored. But I can see like if you put him like under Orochimaru, that'd be fine if you want.
Yeah,
in A tier.
Yeah, okay, we can do that then. So now we get to like the final four, the big bads.
Yeah.
So Obito first.
Yeah.
Again, Obito is. I mean, see, actually, yeah, you can cover Obito, I think, because I don't. Obito, like, he's hard for me because like there are times where I'm like, yeah, I hear debates where he's like the best villain in Naruto. I'm like, yeah, I could take him over Pain because like you said, the parallel between him and Naruto is just as good, if not maybe better than Naruto, because see, he was just like Naruto. Like his teacher was Naruto's dad. Like Ikashi was just like they were so, like they're so close. Naruto and Obito are so close.
Hmm.
It's hard, but what do you think?
For me, it is kind of hard as well, and I'll explain it because I was reading Naruto like week to week when the chapters are still coming out, and I caught up when near enough when Obito's identity had been revealed, and Obito was already kind of getting a lot of slack because people are like, wow, what, 600 chapters in, and we kind of, some people knew it was obvious it was Obito and stuff like that, so they thought it was weird to hold out for this long when it was that obvious and stuff.
Yeah,
And
I'm not gonna lie, my fault. I was
no,
gonna say
no, you continue and I'll continue later.
okay. I was gonna say to that point because I also was reading Naruto weekly. I don't think it was obvious. Maybe I was young, so maybe I was a little dumb. But I thought that I thought the masked man was like Kagami, not Kagami. I thought it was I thought it was Kagami, like the student of Todoroki. Like I thought like I didn't think that it was not like super obvious of it being Obito, honestly. But maybe I'm like tweaking. That's just what I wanted.
No, you're not the only one because I do know people that watch. Like I had a friend recently who watched Naruto and he was like, "Damn, like I didn't know it was Obito this entire time." But for me, I knew it was Obito. I was fairly certain it was. But I'm glad that like people out there, you know, didn't actually know it was Obito and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
So then as the series kind of went on, Obito kind of got a lot of slack like from various YouTubers and stuff because I used to watch like chapter reviews and stuff, and a lot of it was just like ranting on Obito, and like it kind of like annoyed me to the point where I was like, damn, I really don't want to see Obito like on the page anymore because like people it was just kind of like a way for people to just rant on the series kind of thing. And like obviously it's like I developed out that mindset because that's like a really bad mindset to have where it's like, damn, like I don't like Obito because everyone just kept ranting on him and stuff. But it's still kind of hard because that's kind of all I think about a lot when I look at him. But I know he does get done dirty because like people do this dumb argument where like, oh, he's just a little creep because he likes a girl, like he was all those years ago. But like that's really dumb because that's like saying I'm an adult now but I had a crush on a girl when I was at school. Does that make me a creep as well? Like it's really weird kind of thing. And people need to understand that Obito had like only 3 people in his life. He had like his teacher who like never arrived on time. He had he had Kakashi who like couldn't protect the girl he liked, and then he had Rin who, you know, died. So like Obito was a pretty easy like subject to brainwashing, you know, thanks to Madara and stuff like that. And yeah, I think he gets done really dirty a lot of the time. I do really like the talk no jutsu, I guess, you know, to phrase it that way, with Naruto that he has at the end. A lot of people don't like that, but I think it's one of the better ones when it comes to like finding out who, you know, Obito Uchiha is Obito. He's not Madara, you know, he's not Tobi. He is him. He's the one that wanted to become Hokage like Naruto did.
And honestly, I think to your point, I think Obito and Pain were some of the like the quote unquote talk no jutsus were still done well. Like for anyway, just on the Pain one, but Pain was like, okay, this is what I think is the way to solve the issue, because he just wants to solve the issues with the world of Naruto. I just want to fix the world. If my way isn't the correct way, then I'll go with another way, and that's kind of what Naruto like convinced him. Okay, there's another way, so he put his faith in him. For Obito, it was like, okay, well, like we're just looking at things in terms of, okay, this is how like the ninja world is. Like he's like, I've gone too far. I can't go back, bro. I can't do things. I can't be the kid I used to be. Naruto's like, bro, you're literally still thinking about it. Like Obito's seeing this picture, this mirror of him, which is Naruto, and he's like, yo, this is what I was supposed to be. He's like, and Naruto's like, yeah, if you like, how are you gonna say you don't care about this stuff when you're still dreaming of being Hokage? And it's like, oh shit, like this is for real. So I think I don't think that it's done as bad as people say. Like I actually like the way they did it with Obito.
I do also like his relationship with Madara, because they don't really like each other. Like because for my Madara video I did a while back, I was looking through the manga, and there's a lot of time where those two are just saying, like, just being out in the open how much they don't like each other. Because Obito's like, I never considered you a comrade, like we just happen to share similar interests and stuff like that. And Madara's like, you know, I like that, I'm fine with that and stuff.
That's funny, yeah, like to your point. I mean, you also have like the scene with Obito versus Kakashi where they fight.
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
of course.
like we kind of see that. Obito has a lot of cool stuff to him, I say for sure. Like the dynamic between him and Naruto is amazing. One reason why I'm not mad at people saying Obito's the best villain is because also he has a dynamic between him and Naruto, right? And then Kakashi, and then him and Sasuke, because he's like the Uchiha and stuff. Like him and Kakashi, because like they swap places, because Kakashi was this cold guy, and like he was like better and stronger.
Yeah.
And they switched because now Obito's like this cold-hearted guy and he's stronger. So it was a cool thing where we get to see those two and they interact and whatnot. So I think Obito's an underrated character for sure. He is very polarizing because you either have him like top 3 or you think his character is trash.
No, yeah, there is no like in between a lot of the time. But also, I guess we also have to consider like he appeared at the start of like Shippuden as well, with like his different persona of like Toby, you know, and then I guess of Madara as well when he pretends to be Madara. You know, he does a lot of gaslighting, I guess, like throughout the entire series, which is it's cool. He's one of the most I've never seen a villain kind of like that just switches into these different roles so easily. Like it feels kind of goofy to have like Toby to then switch into this like, you know, powerful name of Madara, but it still works somehow because like Madara is such like a threatening aura to have and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, to that point, I think Toby, the character, I don't really like. For me, he didn't do much. He didn't really do anything for me. So that guy is kind of not discarded, but that's a low tier villain for me.
Oh no,
but
yeah.
Madara, like with kind of this quote unquote Madara, when he's like, basically from the moment he found out Itachi's dead, he's like, oh, Itachi's dead? Perfect. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? You're like, yo, slow down. See, up until the mask is removed. Funny enough, I don't know why, but his mask is removed and his voice gets like 20 octaves higher for some other reason. But like he's pretending he's Madara, but he still has that fear factor. So I think that guy, the Obito Madara, that guy, he's a top tier villain too. So yeah, that's what I do. So where do you? I mean, I think clearly S, but
yeah, I know you don't want to put him above Pain.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing.
We'll put him below Pain just for you.
Okay. And speaking of Madara, because we were talking about his copycat, we can talk about Madara Uchiha.
Yeah.
I guess sell me on it. What do you like about Madara?
I think with Madara as well, it's like, first of all, I think a lot of people downplay him with the way he ended the story, with like how he just left the scene with Kaguya and Zetsu and stuff like that, but we'll get into that. But I think what's more interesting about Madara is that, similar to kind of Toby, but I think in a much tougher way for Kishimoto, was how he was able to just build up a single name throughout the entire series into the final arc, where it becomes like so worth it, because we always hear about Madara this, Madara that and stuff, and we don't kind of know the true story of his past. You know, we hear of Itachi, but like some of that was fabricated and stuff, and the same with Toby when he's explaining it to Sasuke, it's fabricated. Like, we don't really know who he truly is, but we know he's like some terrifying opponent, because even when Naruto met Sasuke at the start of the time skip, and you know Sasuke is like inside that area where the Ninetales is, and then Ninetales is like, your eyes are like Madara Uchiha from the elder days, and then Sasuke is like, never heard of him, am I supposed to care?
That shit was, that shit was so tough. He's like, never heard of him. I'm like, alright. Like, how you not know what your old elder, Sasuke? That's funny.
But then obviously when he appears in the war, it's cool because like a lot of the time people thought, you know, Obito was Madara, but there's like, damn, the real deal has actually arrived. And it's crazy how like just the name Madara Uchiha tricked people into an entire war because they were so scared of him. And then obviously Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance, like one of the best entrances to showcase how powerful a villain is. It's crazy, you know, even when it comes to like the meteorites, we see Naruto just run away from it, the main character. And then Madara has a good I guess piece of hypocrisy. I don't know how to say hypocrisy about him. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I can't say it for some reason. But like, he's very flippant on his ideals and stuff, where he wants peace, but he also is kind of he rejects this world basically, and he kind of, we see it in the the past flashback with Hashirama, where he's like, you know what, I've completely given up on this world, I'm gonna see it as purely entertainment for me and stuff. And we see him, you know, just he's killing all the people that he's supposed to be leading to the salvation, which is ironic.
Yeah.
And then even the whole point of the war was to, you know, capture the Nine Tails and stuff like that. And then Kabuto is like, this is in when he first shows up, Kabuto is like, okay, the Nine Tails is like over there, you know, should we go capture him? And Madara's like, nah, you know what, I want to test some jutsu out, it'll make a prettier picture of this, like, all these people around to kill while I do it and stuff like that. It's like, okay, it shows where his like true guts are at and stuff. And yeah, obviously then later on we get the reveal where he betrays Obito and stuff like that and comes back to life. And yeah, I've gone a bit long, but like, if there's anything you want to say about him, then, you know, go for it.
Yeah, all I would say is, like, I think that he was done masterfully, right? So we see that he has this build up. He has the best build up in the series. Like, Itachi's up there, but Madara's just better, right? We see the Valley of the End. He was brought up, and like you said, Sasuke's like, oh, who's like Kurama brings him up. He's like, who's oh, you're like Madara Uchiha. Sasuke's like, I've never heard of him. We just, throughout the series, we're seeing him slowly. Then we see Madara, you know, touch down, and we know what Madara does to all those ninja. But he was like hype personified, right? Because even like Obito pretends to be Madara, and just they didn't even verify if it was really Madara, but just the off chance that Madara was here, the existence of Madara caused all the hidden leaf village, or not all the hidden villages, or all like the villages, to like, they were like, okay, F this, let's do something we've never done ever in the history of ever. Like, let's all unite and team up and make it an allied alliance just to stop Madara Uchiha. That was it. Like, they didn't know about Obito. Oh, they knew about Obito. They didn't know about like Kabuto. Like, it was just supposed to be to stop Madara. So it was like, Madara he ended up working with Kabuto, but that wasn't the original plan. Like, Kabuto kind of blackmailed him into it because he knew about Madara's real body and stuff. So Madara's or Obito's, like, they thought that they were fighting only Madara Uchiha, and they still said, okay, let's all team up. It's like, what the heck? Like, Madara's he's just that guy. Yeah. And then we even get like his there's just more than the power with him too, because we get his backstory, and we see that because of, like, he lost all his siblings and his brothers and stuff and his family from the Senju. There's a big thing with Madara where he doesn't want people to see his back, right? Because it's like, that's a big thing with him. Even like when he's like, even when I'm peeing, I don't want someone to see my back. Yeah. And I watched like an analysis video where it's like, he's trying to lead people, but you can't lead someone if you don't want. You can't lead people if you don't want them to see your back, because if you're leading someone, you're in the front. So it's like, it's like that kind of stuff. Like, Madara's that guy. Like, there's just so much great things about him. So I mean, you touched on, I think, all of it for the most part. But Madara, he's that guy. While I do think I like Pain, and even I'd even say maybe Obito a little more, like, I have no qualms with Madara. He just, I think we're talking about like a transcendent villain, which to me is like a villain that you don't even have to watch Naruto, but you kind of know about him. Madara's like that guy. Like, even that scene where he's like, I forgot what scene. It's like a scene where he's kind of, it's in the war arc, obviously, and he's like sitting on on a rock, and he's kind of like bored or something. Like, he just has a lot of cool moments.
Because a lot, like I said before, a lot of people do downplay him because of the way he gets killed off, but I think it does suit his character a lot with how that happened, because like you were touching on, you know, he had the whole back situation, and this entire time he was showing his back to, you know, Black Zetsu, which was, you know, Kaguya's will, not Madara's. And it's fitting for Madara to go down that way, because, you know, we see him like transcend to godhood. So, like, he opens his third eye, which is, you know, to show enlightenment for him, and to have that all then ripped away, like, just at that second, it's a perfect kind of reality check to make him, you know, go back to the ground. That he wasn't supposed to, like, just go that high, like, ever, because he got his way by not trusting the next generation to, you know, pursue his dreams with him. And I think there's a good little part at the end with his conversation with Hashirama, where he says, you know, he does acknowledge that, like, maybe, you know, entrusting the next generation was the way, but he also says that, like,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't have been able to do that because, you know, I never trust people to stand behind me to begin with and stuff. And
Yeah, so he was. I mean, he's one of the characters, like you said, or it was kind of alluded to. He never was like, "Oh, Naruto, you were right." He was like, "Yeah." I mean, he always said he was wrong because he lost, right? Like he was like, "Yeah, here's a maybe you were right because I lost, but I couldn't have done it." Like even like if I knew that your way was the right way, I probably still would have went down swinging.
Yeah,
and you have to respect that. So like,
no,
he's
yeah,
the S tier, I think.
no,
So.
yeah. Because even with like his conversation with Tobirama is when he acknowledges he's. I feel like he's one of the main villains that acknowledges that he's one of the biggest problems of the world, because he's like, you know, people desire peace, but they also crave conflict as well. You know, if you want to get peace, you go into conflict and stuff, and he kind of realizes he is the issue for that. And so that's why he feels like he's the one suited to bring everyone into that dream world. Like, that's why he didn't want Obito to activate the infinite Tsukiyomi. He said it needed to be him because he felt like he carried all the sins of this world and believed it had to be, you know, just him to do it.
And like, I think even with that, kind of to your point, I mean, Sasuke's not on this list, and I don't think we even have to rank him, but he kind of gave Sasuke an idea because he was like, he served as, I mean, kind of is enacting what Pain wanted to do, where Pain's like, I'm gonna be the one villain that everyone will kind of come towards. And you know, Madara was like, that was literally the living proof. Like, he was the villain that made every village that previously the villagers were never at peace with each other. He made them basically from then on become cool with each other. Like that's a whole thing. So like, you kind of have to do that.
But
we can above. I think above Gaara is good. Or what you want to put him? I mean, you want him at 1. Where do you?
I put him above Obito for me, but I don't know if you'd want that. But,
no, I mean, it works. I'm not like, again, like I told you, I don't really have a strong inclination for Obito. He's good, but like, I've been talked down from that hill, basically, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah.
And we got the two people, I think that they don't these guys don't have a lot of love. Like, that is not a hot take, honestly. So, I mean, Kaguya, we can talk about them together. These guys are actually like Siamese twins.
Yeah.
So Kaguya and Black Zetsu. So how do you feel about these guys?
With Kaguya, I think her introduction to the very end of Naruto is a bit awkward, considering all we built up to. Like I said, I do like the way Madara leaves, but I don't like how Kaguya enters, if that makes sense. It's a bit weird and very sudden, even though there is a lot of foreshadowing of this lineage of like Naruto and Sasuke being reincarnations of the brothers and stuff like that. But with Kaguya, it's a bit tricky compared to... It's just very hard to get over of like Madara, who's been built up throughout like over half the series and stuff, to get switched out by Kaguya, which I understand is a bit weird. But to Kaguya's benefit, I do really like her design as well. I think she has a really cool design. She does switch up the battlefields a lot to make it more interesting throughout the fight, because throughout the war we've just had like rocky landscapes everywhere, but then we go to like an ice dimension, we go to a lava dimension and stuff like that, sand, a desert place, and I think that's a nice switch up. I also do find her backstory interesting, which gets developed in the fillers, which is probably one of the best fillers. It's not perfect, it does have a few inconsistent problems that cause a lot of issues for Boruto later on, because Boruto does explore like the Otsutsuki more, but I do find it interesting with you know, how she came to Earth. She ate the divine tree, because it's all based on like, I think it's on like a Japanese like mythology or like folktale or something like that, with Princess Kaguya. And yeah, I mean, not really too much to say. I think her history is the most interesting part about her. It's just a shame it's not as explored much in the actual series itself, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of to your point, like, and I love the war arc, but I think we don't have to really go on too crazy about, like, you know, Kaguya. We know Kaguya is not the greatest. I don't think that she was done well. Like, I think like the idea of Madara seemed like the perfect villain, like the perfect way to end the series. And Kaguya seems like she kind of uprooted that. So, I mean, just honestly speaking, Kaguya doesn't. I don't view Kaguya very highly overall, and I think I view Black Zetsu even lower. So there's that. But yeah, Kaguya's not a high tier villain. But like, I guess for Black Zetsu, I don't like the idea of Black Zetsu being like this crazy. I mean, I know that Naruto, it was like a puppet game because it was Pain manipulating people, and Obito manipulating him, and Madara, like I get that, but just the idea of like you mean tell me Black Zetsu was just smarter than everyone else in the verse? Like, come on, bro, just be realistic. That just didn't make a lot of sense. But
there is one thing I do like to Black Zetsu is kind of how he's just always been there in the shadows kind of thing. That's where like I'd be fine with, like I said, I'm fine with the whole Madara thing. It's just Kaguya introduction is a bit shaky for me. But I do like how obviously when we see the first Naruto versus Sasuke fight at the Final Valley, if you remember at the end, like we see like Black Zetsu come up and be like, oh, like interesting, and then it's like it's weird because it's like, why would Black Zetsu come to see these little two children fight? But it's like, obviously we know he's watching the next set of reincarnations now, just play out their fight in Destiny. And then
I actually forgot about that. That he watched that battle. And then also, that's crazy.
I remember when I was reading the chapters weekly of like Madara and Hashirama's backstory, and when Hashirama finishes Madara, Hashirama like looks up at the top of the valley because he thinks he hears something, but we don't see what's there and stuff. But then many chapters later, like it was actually Black Zetsu who was like watching the fight, and he helped out Madara survive. Yeah. So I do like that part of him, but yeah, it's not very satisfying to see him there, and like it's kind of annoying how he just tells Kaguya what to do throughout the entire fight. Like it makes Kaguya seem a bit dumb, and it's like I'm not sure how I feel about that, but yeah.
That is true. I think to your point, I actually forgot those. I think those two scenes kind of make Black Zetsu cooler than I think he was before. But it's just cool to see, like, I don't know. Black Zetsu, I don't think that was done great with the idea of like him controlling everything, but I do see the benefit of that, if that makes sense. But I think Kaguya is just an overall net negative to her in general.
I'd put Black Zetsu in D tier.
Yeah, okay. Black Zetsu in D tier. I'm not mad at that.
Then Kaguya, I feel like maybe like C tier. Because I feel like her backstory is interesting, and I do like her design, and I feel like there's a lot more potential to her, I feel like, but I feel like it'd be like near the bottom. Obviously, I don't know what you think, unless if you'd want her in D tier as well.
Yeah, I thought they're both in D tier, but I mean, I guess it just depends, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm like those two. I just know they're not that high. Like I'm not gonna like fight if she's a C tier instead of a D tier. You know what I'm saying?
I'd put her at bottom of C tier then. Just
okay. So I mean, there's not really. I don't think there's anyone we're really missing. Like I mean, you could rank Sasuke as a villain, but I think that Sasuke was he's misunderstood, but he was kind of like, bro himself didn't know he himself didn't even know what he was really doing, so I don't really kind of view him as a villain.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit tricky. He does have his villain moments, like with like the whole dancer at the end of the 5 Kage summit as well, and he's like laughing at Kakashi being crazy and stuff.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So I mean, I think it's a pretty good overall list. Is there like, that's kind of like the, I guess where given we can give an overall grade on the Naruto villains, just like all of them, like where would we think they would lie?
It's tough. I feel like, cause I don't know, I feel like I'd be biased, but I feel like I'd say in solid A tier for like, if I'm looking at the whole cast, like if I'm just rating Naruto by villains, I feel like there's a lot more positives than negatives. Like even like the B tiers like aren't necessarily, like they're not bad, it's just they don't have that extra amount of like depth to them, compared to the higher tiers. Like, and like the higher tiers are like high tiers as well, like.
Yeah. Well, you said A or you said B?
I said A.
Yeah, I agree. I think over like when you look at the A, like the A and S, those are some hitters basically, kind of like you said. So like most of the villains that got a lot of like, because you look at D tier, besides Black Zetsu, none of them got like more than 20 episodes, right? You look at C tier, none of them probably got more than like 30 episodes or 40, right? Like when Naruto put time into the villains, I feel like they were always, you know, compelling, good villains. So I do think that Naruto is like an A, like the villains are A tier. That's what I'd say. So I mean, you know, we touched upon the villains. Hopefully y'all agreed. Let us know like, any discrepancies. None too crazy. Like don't blow up the comment sections talking about like, I don't know, Conan's like an A tier. You know what I'm saying? Something like kind of, I don't know, maybe you think, you know, Kagu is an S tier. Maybe you think Tayuya is like the best villain in Naruto. I don't know. But yeah, just let us know what you guys think down below, obviously. But are there any videos you want to promote? I know you said you were you were just chilling, but are there anything you want to promote, you know, any upcoming videos or anything like that?
No, I guess check out my channel. I did an hour-long Madara video. If you want to see why he's an S tier villain, you go
Yes,
watch
sir.
that.
Yeah,
But
that's actually perfect timing then. Yeah, so I mean, I'm actually have to check it out myself too, because I mean, I can be convinced. Like Naruto, like Pain, Madara, and Obito, I think they're close enough that I can be convinced. So I am curious to see how you view it. But that's all from us. So we'll catch y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when the next collab will be, but we'll definitely talk in again at some point.
yeah,
But that's all. So peace.
cool. Bye bye. Thank you.